Shalom Havarim, Victoria Sarvati with another Candid Treasures. Today is a question. Are you in a pit? Sometimes it may feel that way. It feels like God's so far away that maybe he doesn't hear your voice. You don't feel like your prayers are being heard. It says in Proverbs 28:14, whoever hardens his heart will fall into calamity. If you feel like your life is in calamity right now, if you feel like you're just so far away from God that you feel like you're in a pit, he can't hear you, well, there's good news. He does hear you, and he does reach out his hand to pull you up. But it's whenever we fall into those places that we feel so very much alone. When we're in a pit, God doesn't leave us. He always has that rope. He's always hanging on to us. But sometimes we got to take those baby steps to pull ourselves out. Maybe it's a little bit upon a little bit, but we should always be trying to reach that goal of coming out of that place where we know that God doesn't want us to be. It says in Psalms 40, verse 2, I waited patiently for Adonai. He bent down and heard my cry. If there's anybody that understands about feeling alone, it's King David. He felt the distress of God not being close, not hearing his prayer, because he was in a pit. In fact, it even says, he brought me up out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. Then he set my feet on a rock, and he made my steps firm. He put a new song in my mouth. This is a promise of God. When you feel like you're in a pit, that you can't get out, just hang on. Keep asking. God will deliver you. King David had faith. In fact, he'd been in several pits. It just seems like every time I would read the Psalms, he's in another situation where his enemies are attacking him, or he feels so far away from God because of his sin and his desires for other things other than God's things. But he had a heart that was after God. What does that mean? It means that even whenever he was in those places where God wasn't there, his heart was yearning. It was so set on God that it wouldn't leave him alone until he had things right with him and that he repented and got right with God. So don't harden your heart against God. Always keep your heart firm and steadfast on him, reading his word, building up that faith inside of you. You may be in a pit, but get out your word and read it so that your heart doesn't become hardened while you're there. And then whenever God reaches down, you can reach up and pull yourself out with him. It says that in Psalms 54:4, behold, God is my helper. The Lord is the upholder of my life, for he has delivered me from every trouble. Troubles are temporary. Hang on. He'll pull you up if you have the faith. God bless you. Have a great week.